Since everyone seems to like these reaction videos so much, especially on YouTube, thought we'd do another one. Story of Kony2012. I don't know the story of Kony2012, so I'm well, pretty excited. Probably going to be a very, very good video again, so let's see.
Kony2012 is the story of a man, Jason Russell, and his relentless quest to stop Ugandan warlord, Joseph Kony. Let's begin where the action started.
Is this for real? Oh, a man trying to stop a Ugandan warlord. Okay, good start.
On March 5th, 2012, a charity called Invisible Children published a high-production video called Kony2012. It was an awareness campaign seeking to mobilize action to capture or kill Ugandan warlord Joseph Kony.
And the goal of the story was to make Kony famous.
30 minutes long, it really tried to pull at your heartstrings.
At the end of my life, I want to say that the world we've left behind is one that Gavin can be proud of.
That's Andre Rieu. That's a Dutch guy. It's only funny to me and Dutch people.
A place that doesn't allow Joseph Konys and child soldiers.
And little Gavin would have been proud, because it took off like no video on YouTube ever had.
We wanted 500,000 views in the whole year of 2012. We got 500,000 views in the first 3 hours.
It received 100 million views in the first 6 days, 1.4 million likes. Click that link in the description below. They clicked it so hard the website went down, and their email was so inundated that the service provider assumed it was an attack and temporarily pulled the plug. The Times named it the most viral video ever. It raised the charity over $20 million. People really went fucking bananas for this video, and
wait, what? What was the point of this fucking charity? I don't understand. The point was to make that warlord famous. What? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a charity to kill a Ugandan warlord. What? Oh my god, this is the weirdest thing.
Those Ugandan kids. 4 million hashtags. People changed their Facebook profiles, so you knew it was a big deal. A fan-made mobile game. Are you woke about Joseph Kony? Yeah, but are you woke enough to get a tattoo? People were up for pretty much anything to stop Kony, as long as it didn't involve any practical action. 1 like equals 1 saved child. But who is Joseph Kony and what's all the fuss? Well, he's the leader of the Lord's Resistance Army, LRA.
My God, you're greasy.
And he really is one of the most evil people living today. Imagine the worst crime you can think of committing, and he'll have done it thousands of times over.
Takes children, makes them kill their parents and eat their parents.
The surviving girls would be kept as sex slaves, and the boys conscripted into the LRA as child soldiers.
I know, it's kind of a bummer.
It's all part of...
You fucking think? It's kind of a bummer. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think we can agree that having kids murder their parents and then having them eat them is tiny tad too far? Maybe?
a civil conflict that's been going on for 30 years. We'll get into the details later, but for now, consider this our one-dimensional bad guy. And here's our protagonist, Jason Russell, the figurehead of Kony2012 and Invisible Children. He's a devout Christian, stereotypically Californian.
I do consider myself a refined valley dude.
But he has a bad boy side too. So it all starts in 2003 when, as a naive and aspiring filmmaker, he goes to Uganda with two friends in search of a story. While driving through a rural village,
A car was shot in front of us by a rebel army who was led by a guy named Joseph Kony.
they drive to a city for safety and find this. Turns out it's part of a nightly routine. Kids live in the
You're really right. He does look very sketchy. I'm just waiting for him to steal all the money or some shit. You already know this is going to be great.
Villagers, but commute to the city to sleep there to avoid being kidnapped in midnight raids by the LRA.
Thousands and thousands of kids without an adult in sight.
Jason had found his story. And a cause. It must have made a real impression on him, because for the next 10 years he dedicated himself almost exclusively to trying to improve things in Uganda and stop Kony. Kony2012 was the culmination, but in the preceding years he tried a bunch of other schemes. This.
The bracelet campaign.
This.
Twice daily broadcast about where the LRA is and where they're active.
And this.
Do what we always do. Dance.
No. No. He's not. Okay.
This is all real.
We're on a mission, put Uganda deep inside your mind.
Oh my god.
It needs attention and a dance to make it sparkle and shine. They're in bad times. We gotta shake it up and break it up and let the war without a gun.
Naturally, questions have been raised about his
Can someone please play Everyday Bro instead of this? Oh man. Yeah. Let's be honest, guys. This is definitely not a guy that just wants to be in the spotlight. This is someone who truly cares about everyone around them, and is not just looking for something very easy to get some spotlights on to make him famous. That, I think, that's the least of his worries. He wouldn't even think twice about that. How dare you?
sexual orientation.
All these other rumors too that you were gay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard those rumors.
Yeah.
My parents started a large children's theater organization, so I am
Theatrical.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Straight men are allowed to enjoy musicals. It's current year. Back.
Who the fuck cares if he's gay? Let's be honest. Who cares? But I think, come on. Yeah, you have to be a little bit gay to do a Zac Efron in fucking High School Musical impression like that. Just saying.
Kony2012. So the video lays out a plan called Cover the Night. Here's what you do. Pay $30 for your super special Kony action kit. Whoa, that's nice. In the kit you'll find 5 items. Button, bracelet, stickers, shirt, and these posters. Then, on April 20th, in the dead of night, go out and vandalize your town with awareness.
and wake up to hundreds of thousands of posters demanding justice on every corner.
It was going to be amazing. Everyone was on board. The countdown to April 20th had begun, and all Jason and Co had to do was keep the momentum going and not fuck it up.
I'm literally just waiting for, oh my god, this is going to fucking go wrong. This is going very wrong. By the way, disclaimer. I don't care if anyone's gay. My best friend's gay. Because I feel like I need to say that nowadays. Because people go fucking insane. Okay?
This is the new way to move the world to action.
But this movie is not without critics.
Critics say the film manipulates the facts.
Simplifying the story.
Oversimplifying a wildly complex issue.
message is too late.
Joseph Kony and his forces have been significantly reduced.
Pro-war activism.
Utterly naive to
By next week, this will be a passing
These
fad.
white Westerners sort of getting on a bandwagon, and actually they haven't got a clue what they're talking about.
A day or two later, the heady excitement gave way to more down-to-earth analysis. Media commentators started making scathing critiques of the video, and testimony from Uganda wasn't entirely positive either.
It's unfortunate that we can have people who are merchandising, but using people's problems.
Then it got really serious. Teenage girls started weighing in.
Kony is right.
Oh, that's how you know it's serious. When the teenage girls start making videos, huh? That get 4.5 million views. That's how you know, boys. Whenever someone fucks up, just wait until the fucking 15-year-old girls start making videos about it.
My mom, and my mom laughs and goes, "He died like 5 years ago."
This is wrong, by the way, but it was seen by 4 million people. From a source of "my mum said it, so it must be true." The term slacktivism started cropping up more and more. Legitimate questions were asked. How will the money donated be spent?
That invisible children would send would have to go to the Ugandan military.
Why did you put your son in the film?
You know, why would you put your son in the film? You know, why did you put yourself in the film? Those questions about our sincerity.
Why are they saying Kony is in Uganda when he's actually in the Central African Republic? Invisible Children wasn't popular among other charities either. They were hogging the limelight. And they released Kony2012 just 2 days before International Women's Day, a critical fundraising time for some. Even the Ugandan Prime Minister took a few jabs.
We do not need a sleek video on YouTube for us to take notice.
Once people started feeling misled, they turned against the organization and squared the blame on one person.
Of course they did.
The pressure was building. Online backlash and a hectic schedule was starting to take a toll.
My phone was getting 10 text messages every second. It was just...
Millions of supporters on one side, millions of critics on the other.
On and on and on.
Make Kony famous? Well, it made Jason famous too. And the pressure kept increasing. He was flying all over the country to spread his message.
Took the red eye to New York, landed at 5 in the morning.
Working around the clock.
On the Today Show, People Magazine, Reuters. By day 3, I was in LA doing interview after interview after interview. 17 interviews in 48 hours. Wow. So
he was sleeping less and becoming more erratic.
Not being able to sleep, not being able to stop my racing mind.
Criticism from every direction.
Then it was like, you're the worst. You're terrible, and Kony's dead.
They started saying the whole project was for his ego, or based on greed, and not just criticism, responsibility.
Honestly, I'm just trying to figure out, like, from looking at him, like, what... Because on the one hand, he doesn't seem like he minds all that attention, and on the other hand, he does seem a little bit stressed.
How are you going to stop children from being murdered, Jason? You promised a solution, Jason. When are you going to deliver Kony?
At the end of that day, my mind was exhausted.
To release the pressure, he and his family tried to take a couple of days off by going to Palm Springs. But people recognized him there too, so they hid away in their hotel room with the curtains closed. Jason was starting to crack. Paranoia, delusions of grandeur. He went with his family to see the Lorax, and he thought the film was speaking to him directly. Voices in Jason's head told him that he needed to get to New York in the next 12 hours or Kony would win, whatever that meant.
Okay, so good. So he's insane. Fucking problem solved.
Then, he stripped off all of his clothes and ran out into the street.
Very straight. Fucking hell. Oh my god, did you see that walk? Let's go back. I'm not judging him. I'm just saying.
Would win, whatever that meant. Then, he stripped off all of his clothes and ran out into the street.
Look at that walk. That is someone who made the wrong choice when they woke up. That's... When you're walking like that down the street naked, that's how you know. Today is not your day. You've made a wrong choice today. You should have stayed inside. You shouldn't have. Oh my god.
I was on a street in San Diego, totally naked and crazy out of my mind. Someone driving by in a car took a video on their phone, and they sold it to TMZ for $30,000. And then my naked and crazy mess went viral as well.
Some have said that he was jacking it and that he was on drugs. Neither is true. It's just a very distressed man having a mental episode.
Were you also masturbating? Did I hear that too?
No one who was there ever said that that was happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm naked, so it's not a far extension of, imagination.
He was taken to the hospital, not jail.
Police say when they showed up, they didn't see any of that and was taken to a local medical facility that he was not arrested, though.
And there, he thought the staff were trying to kill him.
Just one of those things where I'm like, I don't believe what you're saying. You're trying to kill me.
But yeah, I'm starting to feel sorry for this guy again. This is like a trend. What's the same with No Man's Sky?
He ran around in his underwear, kicking in doors until eventually he was subdued and sedated.
Did you come back to yourself as you know yourself?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Wow.
2 weeks, whoa.
Yeah.
Later on, one Sharona Reed tried to sue Mr. Russell for the trauma of having to see him do naked calisthenics. As far as I can tell, though, that lawsuit went nowhere.
Can you think of anything else that's worse than running around naked going like this on TMZ?
Well,
yeah,
maybe one thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
While all of this was happening, the countdown to the day of action was still ticking. Thousands of kits had been sold. Get ready for an awareness campaign so effective you'll think you're living in Uganda. The kids rolled out into the street. Selfie sticks and posters ready. Let's do it. Let's save those kids. We're changing the...
Let me guess, nothing happened.
The world. Oh, God, yes. But it wasn't all well intended. Some took it as a chance to vandalize their neighborhood with impunity.
Of course.
The adults were left to clean up the mess. And despite the impression you might get from this fancy montage, the turnout was abysmal. Here are some figures. Toronto, 50,000 people registered. Real attendance? 50. Sydney,
Wow.
18,000 people registered. Real attendance? 12. Montreal, 4,800 registered. Real attendance? 0. Instead, they cancelled their event and put up a post calling Invisible Children a fraud organization. This is what 4 million Kony hashtags gets you. Now, I bet you want to know when...
Did Justin Bieber say stop Kony? Is this real? Help another kid in need. This is not a joke, this is serious. Together we can make a change and stop Kony. Rihanna as well, Kim Kardashian. P. Diddy. Thank God for celebrities. Thank God. What would the world be without them?
Million Kony hashtags gets you. Now, I bet you want to know where Invisible Children, Jason Russell, and Kony are now. But before I tell you that, I want to go on 2 quick tangents of things I found while researching. In the Kony2012 video, you'll see this guy, Luis Marino Ocampo, Chief Prosecutor for the International Criminal Court. This would be the organization that charges Kony if he was ever caught. Well, in 2017, a bunch of Louis' emails were leaked, and they detailed one hell of a caper to catch Kony and bring him to justice. I'm not making any of the following up, right? Here's the plan. Lure Kony out of the jungle with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie as bait.
Straight from a Hollywood movie, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt attempting to arrest an African warlord.
So it would go, the A-list couple would fly to the edge of the jungle where Kony is hiding and call him up with an invitation to dinner. Kony, starstruck, would of course say yes.
Oh
He'd
my
show
God.
up, presumably bottle of wine in hand and ready to mingle. Then, imagine his shock. It was a trap all along. Special forces would pop out from behind the salad bar and get their guy.
One idea appears to have been for Angelina Jolie to lure him to a private dinner where he would be arrested.
It was a foolproof plan, but unfortunately, it was never realized. Once Miss Jolie stopped responding to Louis' weird emails, Ocampo approached George Clooney for use of his spy satellite.
Does George Clooney really have a spy satellite? Is this real? The whole Angelina Jolie thing is so silly that I can't even say anything about it. Like, what?
Chief Prosecutor had also attempted to recruit George Clooney, in a plot to fly spy satellites over Libya.
Yes, that's correct. George Clooney partnered with a satellite company to spy on al-Bashir of Sudan.
Oh my god.
Okie doke. Anyway, he responded that the satellite wasn't powerful enough. So then Ocampo moved on to his backup date, Sean Penn,
Oh, Sean
whom he
Penn.
invited to the UN security meeting in South
This motherfucker played in some action movies, right? Let's get him to fucking get Kony.
Sudan. What? And there were some people having fun with Kony2012 as well. Turns out Kony looks a lot like Carl Weathers in the movie Predator. So an idea was formed. Take this screenshot from Predator, post it on Facebook and say how great he is without mentioning the name. Then wait for some slacktivists to immediately assume it's Joseph Kony. Then you call them racist. It was good for a few minutes of fun.
Wow.
Then they tried it on the official meetup pages. Promptly deleted. And we're back. So get a load of this total car crash, dumpster fire, shitstorm, diaper hurricane, am I right, guys? Well, no. Despite all the mishaps and poor turnout, Kony2012 was a massive success. The goal was to make an obscure warlord in rural Uganda a household name. And they succeeded. A reach in the hundreds of millions on a budget of about $1.5 million. Any marketing agency would kill for that.
Yeah.
In fact, 7 years later, you probably clicked on this video because you have some vague notion of Kony and that video already. Now, let me give you a very brief rundown on where everyone is, then let's get out of here. Invisible Children, outside of long-term and small-scale projects, they've largely ceased operations. Joseph Kony, he's still out there, but his army is shrinking and splintering. He is effectively in hibernation.
Fair enough.
And Jason Russell. He's no longer with Invisible Children. He's also been breakdown free since 2012, but he's still doing the activism thing. Look, I've had to gloss over so many details in this video, and there are so many more questions to be answered, but I don't want this video to be an hour long or to take 2 months more to make, so I'm going to round this one off with a Q&A on the second channel. What about that $20 million they raised? Why didn't the US military or the Ugandan military ever just bomb the shit out of Kony? What did Kony have to say about the video? All of these questions, and a ton more, plus any questions you may have of your own. Uganda want to see it. Boo.
Oh, right, that's a good one. Oh my god, this is so painful. Like, you would like to think that that guy really just made up the whole Kony 2012 thing so he could bring some positivity to the world. But honestly, when someone goes from High School Musical Zac Efron to a charity so quickly and then starts running down the street naked, it's kind of easy to think that maybe they're not right in the head, or at least a little bit troubled. But honestly, it's more than most of us do. At least he's trying to do something, so you can't bash a guy for that. I hope he's happy with his family, honestly. Kony's getting fucked, so that's good. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the little reaction here. I always love watching this guy's videos because he's brilliant. We didn't get an ad though. I missed that. I want ads now that I know they're so funny. So, thanks for watching, boys.